On a basic engine like this, there's 3 things you need to start it and to keep it running, and that's gas, air, and spark. But you need the right mixture of gas and air, and that's the carburetor's job. So I'm suspecting that this is a carburetor issue. But before we get to the carburetor, let's go ahead and eliminate some of the basics, such as, do you have gas in it? Yep, there seems to be gas in there. Now, sometimes these things won't start if there's too much water pressure built up in it. So if there's a water line connected, make sure the water is off and then let any pressure out of the gun. In my particular case, I started wondering if I had a bad tank of gas, or somehow water got into it, because it was possible in the last rainstorm that water actually reached the gas can that I was using. And so we're going to drain the old gas, and at the same time, we're going to look real closely at the flow of gas coming out of the gas tank to see if it's restricted, or if dirt or leaves and stuff got in the gas tank and actually clogged up the outlet hole that runs through the tube and into the carburetor. Now, if you loosen that cap up, the flow should come out better. And while I'm over on this side of the engine, I'm going to go ahead and check that air filter. I'm pretty sure it's okay because it wasn't long ago that I replaced it, but we'll take a good look at it. Yeah, well, I've seen a lot worse than that, but I'll go ahead and replace that anyway, just for good measure. Now it's acting like the choke is on. I'm going to take a better look at this choke, and then I'm going to take the shroud off and make sure it's operating properly. There's only 2 screws on the top of this shroud, so it goes off and on real quick and easy. You know, when I saw this dirt and grime in there, I'm thinking, I want to stop what I'm doing right now and clean this up. And then I thought, well, I would do that, but I ain't got me no pressure washer. Broken down. Yeah, when these things break down, you start wondering how you ever got along without one. These things are worth every penny. Buy a good one and you'll be happy. Choke seems to be working fine. Everything's shutting off and on just as it should. All the springs are connected and everything's good. So we're going to move on to the spark plug and check that. It's been a while since I changed this, and it's probably due for another one, whether it needs it or not. Yeah, give it a sniff and see if it smells like gas. If it does smell like gas, that means the gas is not burning. And this one doesn't, but it's kind of dried up and foul, so we can go ahead and put a new one in. They only cost about $4. And hopefully we found your issue by this point. As for this one, not quite. Still will not turn over, so now we're going into the carburetor. And before I go ahead and do a full tilt rebuild of this carburetor, which will be in another video, I'm going to take this bowl off and see how the float is acting. Sometimes these things get cooked up and they stick, so that might be the issue here. It's just one bolt to remove this, and when you get this bowl off, just wiggle that float around, let some of that gas drain out of there. if you don't pinch this off at the gas tank, gas is just going to keep on flowing from the gas tank through the carburetor, and it's just going to keep on flowing all over the ground. But I'm going to let a little bit of it flow just to see if I can get some of that gook out of there. Yeah, I'm not positive, but I think that float was a little bit stuck, and we're going to find out very shortly here. It started pouring rain as soon as I got this done, and that's what all that background noise is. But I wanted you to hear this part. Too bad I can't use it. The float on the carburetor was stuck. As an easy fix. Just have to eliminate a few things. I guess nothing was wrong with that old plug, but they put a new one in anyway. It was due. Once all that's eliminated, you get into rebuilding the carburetor and replacing the magneto. All a little bit pricey and a little bit time consuming, and not, just a bolt on and bolt off fix. Luckily we found it. We're going to put that shroud back on, and as soon as the rain stops, we're going to go ahead and wash this car. Thanks for tuning in. If that solved your problem, it could be temporary. So if you run it for a couple hours and the whole thing starts all over again and acts like it's running out of gas, and then it won't start back up, it's more than likely you have a carburetor issue, and it's time to take the carburetor off, blow out the jets, and probably replace that float. And that float could have a pinhole in it, and it's causing it to sink and throw the calibration all off whack. I'm going to save all that for another video, just dedicated to rebuilding the carburetor on these small engines. For now, I'm going to link you to another video from another video maker showing you how to do that if that's your problem. And that will be linked in the video description, so I can change it to my own video once I get it published. So stay tuned, it's time to subscribe. Thanks.